Some of you may be asking yourself, how do you become a belly dance teacher? This is a very loaded question because there are multiple facets of this to really consider before you actually get started. So we're not going to be able to cover everything because really this is a dialogue between you and your mentor, and you can always reach out to me and ask me questions about this as well. It's so much to discuss. So what I'm going to do today is go over a few main things to consider. However, it's most important that you conversate with someone whom you trust. You can reach out to me. We can dialogue about whether or not you're ready to become a belly dance teacher and all of that good stuff. But first, let's cover these main topics. One of the first things that you really need to do is study a lot, dance a lot, and make sure that you're executing the movement the way you intended it to be. So, for example, if I'm like, oh, I want to do an undulation, and I start doing this, is this how you intended your undulation to be, right? Is this how the movement is accurately portrayed? Are you doing it with precision, right? So, some of us study a lot and some of us dance a lot, but not all of us really make sure that the movement is the way we intended it to be, which is clean, distinct, and actually within the realm of belly dance. This is really, really important because a lot of the time you can add your personal nuances on top and then you're calling it belly dance, but it's not. It is your personal nuance. So you want to start to be very clear as to what is you and what is the dance. So you got to study a lot. You got to be practicing. You have to practice effectively on your movement, right? And you got to know what you're doing. Know what movements are called. Know how they are inspired and motivated by your body in order to be able to tell someone this. Because if you're not, then what's going to end up happening is you're going to have a class where you're left with very confused students and you're not sure how to communicate what you want for them to know effectively, right? So you got to study, meaning know what you're doing, know the vocabulary, know how to motivate your body, and know what is it you're trying to go for with the movement before even considering become a belly dance teacher. And if you are considering a belly dance teacher, but you're not quite there yet, reach out to me, okay? So study a lot, which we just talked about. You got to dance a lot. You have to apply the knowledge. If you're not applying the knowledge, how do you know what is going on? Because we do not dance in the way that we drill. Those are two distinct things, right? So when we drill, we are literally practicing for muscle memory. And when we dance, we are dancing. They are not the same thing. So you have to study and drill, and then you have to dance. And the last component of that is, are you doing it the way you intended to be? So remember that undulation example I gave you. If you are doing this and you think that this is accurate of what you are wanting to portray, you got to revisit that, and you got to visit it and say, like, okay, what is it that I want it to look like, and what is it that I'm doing? And there are multiple ways on how to get there, right? But you got to make sure those two pictures are aligned with each other. You have heard me say this before, and I am going to say it again. Study with people from the culture of the style you intend to teach. Don't go off and start teaching inaccurate information, saying that it's this when really it's this, and not knowing how to give people context in what they're looking for, whether it's to have fun, whether it's history, whether it's cultural context, any of that stuff. You got to know what you're talking about. And the best place to start is from people of the culture of which you are wanting to portray that style. So if I wanted to do Greek belly dancing, I would go study with people who are native Greek dancers. I would learn more history, more cultural context behind that, and get myself clear on what it is that I am teaching. If I'm wanting to do Turkish, then I would go to Turkey, or I would study with people who are native to Turkish belly dancing, right? And who have studied it for a very long time. I'm not saying that just because someone is from the culture that they are, and don't slaughter me for this, but I'm being mindful and I'll use it on my culture. Just because someone is from the culture, you still have to vet your teacher, right? Just like from American. If I wanted to learn an American style belly dance, not every American teacher is going to be a great teacher. So you're still going to vet from within the culture, but I would still source my information from that country, that region, that culture first, and also study with people who have intensely studied that information. So just because they're not a native teacher, but they're teaching that style. So say I'm not a native of Turkish culture, right? But I am a Turkish belly dancer and I have studied it intensely. And all of my mentors are from Turkey. And I have a reputation of being known to reciprocate or divulge information in a way that is accurate, precise, and appropriate. Then I would be a teacher that you would want to consult. So I say that with knowing in my head, okay, whatever teacher you go to, they're going to be vetted. Native or non-native, you should know that, right? Because if you're studying from someone who's still teaching you to do this, is this what you want? No. And then you're going to start teaching this to other people, which is not what you want for them either, right? So whether it is a native teacher and whether it is a non-native teacher, they both have to be vetted, but study with people from the culture. I cannot emphasize this enough. Know what you want to teach, right? So some of us don't know, and that's okay. But you want to get clear about what you want to teach, either before you teach, as you're teaching, because let's be realistic, sometimes you got to get started teaching in order to really know what you want to teach, right? And then start to really hone in on your focus. This is really important. I've spoken to many people who are teaching one genre of belly dance, one focus and aspect of belly dance, but they really want to be over here. And that's okay. Wherever you are, start to get clear on what you really want. Get that clarity because it's going to show up in so many different beneficial ways for you as a teacher, for your students, for your business, all of these things, right? It's going to make a huge impact. So we want to get clear. What do you want to teach? And sometimes not only thinking about it, but just starting to do it will help you get a lot of clarity around that answer. So in the beginning, when I first started teaching, I was substitute teaching at first, and I only did this 6 months in after really learning how to do belly. My teacher had so much faith in me, but I didn't have faith in myself. And so I was like, I don't know if I should be teaching, right? And all this stuff. And I messed up a lot along the way. And you've heard me probably say this a lot of times in the past couple months or so. But it's true. I messed up a lot. But what my teacher saw in me was potential. And what she had essentially done was she vetted me. She said, I believe in you. You have the talent and the skill. And then now it's time for me to hone in on it, right? To really practice and refine it. Hence the studying and the dancing and making sure my movement is the way I intend it to be. So when I am talking about this particular point, it is about getting vetted, making sure that you are acquiring the skill set in order to be teaching. You can not necessarily rely on just yourself. You got to be doing the work and having someone reflect back to you and giving you feedback as to whether or not you're on the right track to teaching. If you are continually if you're continually doing this kind of thing or spewing BS all over the place, right? You're not ready just yet, right? There's some adjustments to make so that way you can be ready to really put yourself out there as a belly dance teacher, right? And because you're in a teaching position, people are looking up to you as an authority figure. So whether people are coming to you for fun, whether they're coming to you for weight loss, whether they're coming to you for history and cultural context, you want to be vetted. You want to know that you know what you're doing. So I talked about this on the last video, whether it's belly dance certification or not, or speaking with your mentor or speaking with your teacher, you can reach out to me, right? There's so many ways for you to get clarification on whether you are on the right track to acquiring the skill set you need to start teaching. This is so important. I do not believe that the best way for you to start teaching is to go in without any conscious thought about how you are impacting yourself, the community, and the culture. So it is really important for you to be conscious about how you are doing so you can show up in a way that the students know what you're doing, and so you can really, really help them and give them what they want, because they're coming to you for a reason, right? And we want to be able to deliver upon that. The last thing I want to leave you with today is, by you becoming a belly dance teacher, what is the impact that you want to make for you and for others? So I want us to be very conscious about how can we make an impact for ourselves and for other people. Because let's face it, none of us start teaching because it's really for other people first. It's because we, the teacher, get some kind of satisfaction. There's a payoff, just like doing good in the world, right? We do it because it feels good inside to be able to contribute. And as a close runner-up, it benefits all these other people. If it felt bad all the time to help other people, do you think that we would be doing it? F no, we would not be doing it, because we want to avoid pain, right? So it's so clear to get, and clear and helpful to get into our head, what is it that you really want to impress upon yourself and impress upon other people? What is the impact, the contribution that you want to make to yourself and other people by becoming a teacher? So getting that clarity is so important and really crucial to you finding satisfaction in you becoming a belly dance teacher, and your students finding satisfaction and value in what you're doing. I hope that this video gave you a little bit more insight into what you want to reflect upon before becoming a belly dance teacher. As you may know, I have my Badass Teacher Academy right now, and it is going to be launching July 22nd. If you are interested in becoming a teacher, schedule a call with me. I'm doing 15-minute free consultation calls to see how I can help you. The link is in the description below. I really want to make sure that you are set up for success, and the people that you are touching and impacting are also set up for success, and that you're happy about it in the process and really getting the fulfillment and the satisfaction you want. So schedule the call with me so we can talk about your goals, how I can help you, and how you can best serve your community and show up in an amazing way for yourself.